Hi everyone, it's Lee White, your transformational coach, coming to you live this morning. It's Monday morning and I have a whole new bunch of teachings around your mindset work and why I am so committed to nurturing you through learning about how your mindset affects your daily life, your potential, your identity, and all. So I hope you've had a fantastic weekend, and some of you are still in your weekend. And here in Sydney, it's fairly late Monday morning, and I am pleased to say, I'm just going to talk for a couple of minutes while we're waiting for people to come on for this impromptu live where we're talking about the power of your mindset and why it's so important and why I talk about it every single week in this group. This morning I got to go down to the beach and have a swim, which was fantastic, and saw some of our lovely Soultopia people, ladies down there at the beach. And this thing of what you do every day, what you bring into your world every week and how that affects you is really important. And for me, that's one of the things that I must do. And if there's anybody that is dropping into this live video, just drop your where you're calling in from, or give me a wave or an emoji or a number 1 or 2, just so I know that you're here, because otherwise I don't even know if it's live and you can hear me. I hope you can. And what I'm going to do is just talk to you a bit about different teachings and what has shaped my belief around mindset, because there's 2 areas of the mind that will have a great effect on your life and your potential, and there's also your emotional guidance system, which is a big part of it, absolutely. And hi Kelly Ray, nice to see you, so lovely to have you here. I'm just talking about something that would be right up your alley, and so we're talking about the 2 parts of the mind, being the conscious and the subconscious, and also your emotions and how they affect the decisions you make and the part that they play in it all. But the biggest part about managing your mindset is the role that your subconscious plays and how much programming of that you want to be doing. And I can't urge you strong enough to be in a daily practice of programming that subconscious. So I had 2 calls on the weekend, one from a colleague who explained a mindset lesson that she learnt and really made her cry but changed her life, and I'll talk about that one today. And the other one was a person on Sunday who needs big changing in their identity in order to change their potential in their life. So first I'm going to talk through this teaching around your reality being so affected by what your mind believes is going on in your reality, what you're creating, okay? So I have a friend who told me that she wasn't able to sleep well, and that not getting an 8-hour sleep enough sleep can lead to the early onset of conditions like dementia and things like that. I don't know. There's a whole lot of different research, like you've got to eat more beetroot and you've got to eat all these things and sleep well, and it can help to keep you well. And after we'd spoken, I saw some information that said that you can trick your mind if you haven't had enough sleep and you say to yourself, I had a great night's sleep, got enough energy, I feel great, and you really try to convince your mind that you had a good enough amount of sleep, that the brain will then give off the different chemicals and hormones and things that it would to keep you well if you've had 8 hours sleep. And while I was saying this to her, I said, I don't know how you're going to go convincing yourself when you're really tired, you woke up at 3 a.m. and never got back to sleep, how you're going to go convincing yourself that you've had enough sleep. And she said, no, absolutely, not a problem. Because what happened to her and this is the big lesson for you, is I'm going to use my hands so you can see what I'm talking about. It's all about hands in this training. She injured her hand. She sprained the left hand, which might be your right watching this. She sprained it so badly that she lost all movement. She couldn't do this at all. And that side of the arm and the hand was not really moving. She was becoming immobile. So she went to a physician. I really don't know if it was a physio or a surgeon. And they had a cultural background that is very direct and my friend was saying to them, I can no longer move my hand. What are we going to do? And the physician said, that's not true. She was very direct. She said, while you keep up this behaviour of not moving your hand, it's going to take you down a road where you are no longer going to be able to move that whole arm. You're going to lose the movement in that whole left arm. My friend starts crying at this point. And what the physician said is, you need to do these exercises I'm giving you and it's going to change it. So she said, okay, it's very convincing. And what she had to do was put a large mirror in between the two hands. So this one doesn't move, this one does move. And there's a mirror in between, and I have to show you with my hands because it's a little bit hard to understand. So every day, multiple times a day, my friend had to move this hand just like you normally would, and the mirror showed her brain this happening. But in reality, this is what was happening. Well, in the physical world, this is what was happening. What her brain saw is this happening. And within 1 week, she had full movement of both hands because that mirror was showing her brain what was happening when she was sending the message for the hands to move. And it went about doing that reparative work and both hands were moving. And this one was back on track to be healed. And she, of course, has full movement of that hand now. And that is a great metaphor for the mindset work we do in this group, because it is absolutely amazing. You know how they say what you believe you can achieve, That does work to a degree. But when I'm working with clients, there's usually some underlying issues that will be blocking a person from truly believing that they'll be saying whatever I believe I can achieve, but also adding, except for the fact that I don't know enough people in that industry to get in there, or I don't meet enough people to meet the man of my dreams, or whatever, the excuses that we are often very committed to that prevent us from expanding on the path we want to go down. And this is where the mindset work, along with working on your history, past traumas and beliefs and limiting beliefs, is so important, because the second story I have, where somebody phoned me for some support and guidance around what they're experiencing in the workplace. And this was not the first time it's happened to them. They explained that this situation where other people try to control them has happened multiple times in their life growing up, where they've allowed people to take up their time. They've allowed people to affect how they see themselves. They've allowed people to affect what they believe about themselves. And in this situation, this person has handed over their power to the point where they really believe that there is no way that they can control their potential at work, or their potential to create the life that they really want to have. And it's those self-limiting beliefs. There's someone else that has just jumped onto the video, and I just would love if you can say hi and where you're maybe calling in from, so I can answer any questions or engage with you a little bit. And it was lovely to have you here. At the moment, I can't quite see who you are. So this story about their journey is that they are continually attracting, if you like. They're continually having these experiences where people, oh, hi, Andrea. It's great to have you here. This person is continually having people come into their path, their life that are controlling them. So it might be in romantic relationships, it might be in the workplace, other things that really affect their life, where they're repeatedly having this experience. And I pointed out to them that this has not happened just once. You know how when you're quite young and you experience something, you're like, wow, that was a lesson. I'm never going to let that happen again, and you change. But as you grow older, you might not believe that change is possible. You're very committed to your identity, and that capacity for self-determination and changing who you are and what you believe becomes really depleted, and you just don't believe that change is possible. You know, you start with all of these other beliefs around your identity. I'm not that kind of person. I've never had these opportunities, or, you know, whatever your different things you're kind of spouting out are. And that's where the need for the change in identity is so important, because you can't up-level from where you are while you still believe everything you do about yourself today. So if you're looking at changing things, a crap load of stuff has to change that are in your intentions, so what you believe you want, and your actions and your choices and your commitment and your mindset. So, you know how they say you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with? That's one big one, okay? And I talk a lot about decluttering and what you're allowing into your space and hanging on to. The decluttering is just a word that it really applies to your mental self, your physical self, your emotional self, and what's the other one? Spiritual self. Those 4 areas all have to be decluttered. So let me tell you, it's not a 30-day boot camp. It's a lifelong journey, because clutter comes and you've got to get rid of it. And then on the other layer, it happens there and you've got to get rid of that. And so you've got to be up for the journey. And this thing around shaping your identity, you're going to see it every Monday in this group. And for some of you, that might be Sunday night, where I'm talking about your mindset. What is my I am for this week? So I'm open to change. I'm open, I'm healing. I'm stronger. I am prosperous, I am abundant, I am loved and loving. Whatever it is, whatever the area is that is the most relevant and the most pressing and the most recurring random inner dialogue that you're having at the moment that needs to be addressed, that is where your work needs to be done. And if your identity is, it's probably something worth reflecting on today. Who do you think you are? What do you think your potential is? And what is the change that you're trying to call in? What is standing in the way of that at the moment? And what would happen if you became really committed to it for 30 days, for 60 days, for 90 days? Because I'll tell you, in my experience, this really radical transformation doesn't happen without a big commitment. And often in our lives, it will take a big message, a big change, or some big shock for us to have to really stop and say, I'm going to do it differently. So if you're sick of feeling stuck, if you're sick of feeling like other forces, I don't have this, I can't get that, all that negative stuff are affecting you and your potential, then it's time to look at it differently. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop into the comments below the link to book a clarity session with me, so that you'll be able to get some clarity and get an understanding of how this all goes about. But today, just to recap, we've talked about how what you're programming into your brain is widely used. This method is widely used in conventional medicine, in conventional science, in business, in leadership development and mindset management for athletes. For it's not a woo-woo thing, but we use it. And their second story was about how when a person becomes aware of recurring experiences in their lives that they need to stop, take notice, and look at what needs to be changed in their identity. You can't change yourself from like totally lacking every form of resource of love, money, everything, to being radically successful in all of that overnight. But you can take steps every single day, every single week, every single month. And it all begins right here in this group with that weekly mindset management and looking at what is coming up within you and what you need to be clearing. So that was something I could not resist sharing with you all, this reason why I'm so committed to you and your mindset and where it is headed and what you're focused on. So if anybody that is tuning into the live has any questions, or if you're watching the replay, post the questions in the comments below, and that is often where some of the best conversations happen. And that's all I've got for today. I hope you have a fantastic week ahead and enjoy the more laid-back kind of energy that's around at the moment, because it's only for a couple of weeks and then we're back to all action stations. So that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoy it, and bye for now.